All right, we are. That's funny. We are live. What's up, man? We're back. Second show of the day, man. Like I said this morning, it feels good to be back. It's been a couple months since I did the podcast just like this. Like I said, I've been at some tournaments. I've done some stuff on the side of the mat, some quick couple minute videos about the tournaments and things like that. But feels good to be back again. Anybody wants to come on, you can click book now on my Facebook page. And I've got it set up as bookends because from what I understand, you wrestlers out there, you either want to get on early in the morning or you want to get on late in the evening, because in between that, you're going to school, wrestling, coaching, whatever it is you do. So I got it bookended. But tonight, man, I got another amazing young man on. He's a Florida Hammer, now at UTC. I've got him on tonight. It's Nick Benton. You go by Nick, Nicholas?
Nick's fine.
Nick's fine. All right, man. I got Nick Benton on. He was a 4-time state placer, 2-time runner-up, almost 350 wins, which puts him at the most in Florida, according to the documented records. And he wrestled at Somerset for 4 years or 6 years under
6 years, yeah.
Under Mr. Joe Blasucci, and I'm sure he'll talk highly about him, but he's here tonight with me. Nick, I know that we went back and forth, over the last year trying to make this happen, and then things were going on and COVID, and I know Sky wanted to come on too. We'll have to get a hold of him and get him on here. But
for sure.
Welcome, man. What's been going on? How's life treating you?
Oh, pretty good. I have been interested in joining this podcast, and I'm glad we finally met at the Southern Scuffle, got to talking, and, you reached out. I was like, oh yeah, let's do this. Right now, just in the process of moving into my new apartment here. And that's pretty much it. Just wrestling, getting back in shape and getting ready to compete next week.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. Speaking of the Scuffle, man, I know that you have just went through the process of transferring in. So
right.
I don't know if you were ready to get on the mat yet, if you're still getting in shape. But I know, man, you were in there. You were itching, man, to be at the Scuffle and not being able to wrestle. What was it like? Had you ever been to the Scuffle before? Had you ever experienced it before? Or was that your first time?
No, that was my first time ever at the Scuffle. My second time or third time at an actual wrestling tournament, a college wrestling tournament. I've yet to wrestle a college match. Wrestling at the Scuffle would have been cool, but I made the decision, both Kyle Rochelle and I made the decision that let's just hold off, get back in shape, and ready to compete next week at Virginia Duels.
Yeah, so talk about it. You graduated two years ago?
Yes, 2020.
2020, and then we had COVID year, obviously.
Correct.
That's just how life went that year, and then you're back. So initially, you ended up at Northern Illinois,
right?
There, and really didn't see the mat. Don't know what happened there, but you decided to transfer on to UTC.
Right. So at NIU, I was more a practice guy. We had Gage Braun, a national qualifier the year before. He wrestles at Southeastern now, but he transferred out. So he was there, so it was tough to break the lineup. And we had Britt Wilson at 184, an All-American. So basically what happened is this year, I'm getting text messages from Coach Ludwig saying, hey, you're the guy, let's get you ready. So I'm like, okay. So just fast forward to preseason, I'm getting back down to weight. But a week before wrestle-offs, I suffered concussion and I cannot make weight for wrestle-offs the following week. Then the next week is the Michigan State Open. I'm 3 pounds over the day before, and I pee blood, and turns out I had a kidney stone, so I couldn't make weight for that. Monday, Coach Ryan Ludwig takes me in his office, tells me things aren't working out, and basically cuts me. So I fought it because I got a little mix up with the rules. I thought they can't remove me for athletic performance reasons, but it's just that they can't take away a scholarship. Not the coach could do whatever he wants with his roster. That's pretty much my story of transferring.
I'm sorry that happened to you. So it just sounds like it was just bad luck, right? And unfortunate situation, and a lot of times it comes down to a business sometimes, and some coaches are like, look, I've got to put someone in the spot that
right.
maybe they think they can rely on. maybe they didn't believe you, whatever, shit happens, right? But you know what? God's got a plan for everybody, right? And it sounds like his plan was to put you down in Chattanooga, Tennessee with Kyle Rochelle. And
Yeah.
you know, I'm sure the NIU guys are wonderful coaching staff, but I know a lot about the Rochelles and their family down there. And from from what I know, you're in good hands.
Yes, so on my visit here, I was instantly magnetized to all three coaches. They're just like they act like they're all brothers. They're always like goofing around together and stuff. They're in practice when we play dodgeball. They're in there running around. Having fun. So it's like basically they're one of us. But what I needed was a coach that's serious. Like Coach Rochelle could get pretty serious, and someone I could have fun with, joke around with at the end of the day. And
And I
that's just
think
not.
two of them are brothers, right? Is it Kyle and
Yes,
is it TJ?
TJ, Kyle and TJ, yes, they're actual brothers, and but you see all three of them with Coach Gamble together, you'll think like, oh, these guys, best friends or all brothers.
Coach Gamble, great guy. I met him at the knockout, and
Right,
then I got to meet him again at the scuffle. And
right,
you know, it was great to see that the knockout has gotten to the level where this year there was Division 1 coaches there scouting the knockout, which was
right.
really, really cool. And you know, the NAI guys were there and Division 2 guys and Division 2
Yeah,
guys. But it's really cool to see that it's grown to a level of that type of attraction where you're getting coaches coming in. I mean, all the
right,
finals kids were D1 committed, right?
correct.
So I got to see him there. So man, how long have you been at Chattanooga now?
Um, Monday was a week, so I'm going on the 2 weeks here. So
Nice. So
already transitioned. I just signed actually. ye- Was it Monday? I think I signed Monday. Like
so
I
what-
actually signed like an NLI Monday.
so what's that I mean, the big news right now, not in wrestling so much, but
Right,
in college football, we're hearing about everybody going into a portal and everybody transferring around,
right.
staying somewhere and everybody, whatever. And I think with college football, it's more of, you know, they're allowed to get paid
Business.
now and business
Yeah.
and doing that. But you know, I've heard mixed things about going through the process. What is the transfer process like? What and was it difficult for you? Is it
Um, for me, it was fairly easy. Once my name was in the portal, I got multiple emails within like an hour from different coaches, some Division 1, some D2, all different levels. And I was fortunate enough to have my high school coach, Coach Basucci, help me out. Contacting some coaches that he knows once I was actually in the portal. And Coach Gamble actually reached out to me first, and then I talked to Coach Basucci. Then he ended up talking to Rochelle about it, and Logan Andrews' dad, Franco Valdez's dad, and they've just put in good words for me. So he really helped me out. He was in contact with SIUE, Southern Illinois, at Edwardsville. So he helped me out a lot. He would talk to me, tell me to keep my head straight. But it's pretty easy. I was probably in it for just a few weeks because I wanted to get somewhere as soon as possible so I could start wrestling again.
and that's awesome. You know, I'm glad it worked out, you know, and obviously I'm sure your goal is to get an education too and get a degree. So
No, correct. Yeah.
you need to get settled in somewhere where you can call it home and kind of do your thing. And listen, not a bad flight right out of that little airport there on Allegiant. I was an hour from
Right. Yeah.
Orlando, so it's probably an hour and a half for you or something to get home.
Correct. Yeah.
No, you mentioned Joe Blasucci there. I know that you're a kid that spent 6 years under Coach Blasucci. Um, a few things. One thing is he lost his dad last year and then was able to win
Right.
the state title for is it the first time, right?
Yeah. The first time.
What did it mean to you to finally see him reach that pinnacle and to do it in a year where he had some heartbreak?
It felt real good. I honestly, with all those kids on the team, like Skylar Caban, Chase Gillis, Darren Estevez, kids like that, Matthew Jimenez, I felt like I kind of won the state title, but I just, didn't get the ring, didn't get any recognition. Because, those are just guys that have been around for so long. And Coach Blasucci, so I was like really happy, I was reposting stuff on social media, like just supporting them. I felt I was real proud of all of them, and I even like texted coach like congrats. So I honestly I felt a part of that state championship team, even though I really wasn't on it.
And it was really cool. They surprised him with a big sign that they put in their section there with, for his dad and stuff like that. It was cool. And they gave him, I think one of the medals they gave him was for his dad. He kind of
Oh,
helped
okay, I didn't know that.
stuff, and it was, I think so. I think that's what I saw. So if I'm incorrect, Joe, just let me know. But I think he had an extra medal there that he was holding for him. But yeah,
Well, that's awesome.
so I
Anyways.
know, speaking of Joe, man, 6 years with him. Um, what has that guy meant to you, and what has he meant to Somerset Wrestling?
So for me, he's like another father figure, being around him for that long, you do grow attached to him. I was with him for a little bit longer. I started wrestling for his kids club in fourth grade. Then in fifth grade, I was wrestling at the varsity practices back when Chase Singletary and Franco Valdez were there. And so I got to meet those guys, got really cool with them. And then sixth grade, I was on the JV team. Then seventh grade on, that's when I started, and that's when I became the guy, one of his guys. And Somerset Wrestling, he probably means everything to Somerset Wrestling. There's only been one coach prior to him, Coach Oscar Reyes, and he basically just took over the program, and it's on from there. So, state champs, region champs, multiple time district champs.
And you mentioned, it sounds like even when you guys are gone, he still gives you a shoulder to lean on. He still checks on you, make sure you're
No, of course, yeah.
And then, of course, you end up going through a bad moment right now, and he was right there picking you up. And how involved did he get to make sure you found a new home?
He got real involved. So before, when the situation with Coach Ludwig went down, he was actually the first person I called right after, before my parents and girlfriend, all that, told him what happened. And, basically told me like, hey, that sucks, but you got to get your head straight. It can't go out like this. I was honestly contemplating on just quitting wrestling altogether, but him, my girlfriend, and my parents, they talked me into it and to competing. I'm more fired up than ever. So he was very involved. I talk to him. I call him every now and then to this day. We just talk. Just talk about wrestling, life, how his wife's doing, how his family's doing, stuff like that.
Nice. Well, sorry if I messed this up. Lurlane Gonzalez, rooting for you, Nick. Mr. Castillo, your teammate's dad.
Right.
That team will just be a Florida team soon. And then Chance, Benton, mom and dad are super proud of you, Nick. So cool. Listen, growing up Florida wrestling since fourth grade, now you're a freshman in college, so that's quite a bunch of years. From what Florida wrestling was when you got into it to what it is today, and all the Florida guys out in the landscape, whether it's NAIA, D3, D2, D1.
Right.
How far has Florida wrestling come since you've been in it?
It's come very far. So I probably entered the mix right when it was getting bigger, right when the Joey Silvas, Mason Woman's, back when Lake Highland prep started getting real good. So I got to see like all those all-star teams do very well at Disney Duels and HSCAs. And now it's probably the best it's ever been. I was looking at the rankings the other day with my dad, and we have like more than a lot of teams. Like I thought like at first Georgia had more kids, but it turns out Florida did. So it's pretty cool. I still think it's that's going to keep on evolving, and more kids will be like more intimidated to wrestle Florida wrestle than, oh, that's an easy first round pin or something like that.
Yeah, and it's great what Georgia's doing too, because I think that's leaking. The culture that they've started to create in Georgia wrestling, I think, is leaking into Florida a little bit too. And it's starting to get a lot of the Florida guys to look up there and be like, hey, what are they doing? And
Right.
And because we have more people and more of a state and more, per capita, if we can duplicate some of the stuff they're doing, it seems like we can just really. And as far as, obviously we're doing really, really well, but you can see where they've got a lot of their clubs are within like the Atlanta area or whatever, right? So they're able to do a lot of more close knit stuff to build in volume, right? Where, you've got South Day, then you've got Southwest, and you've got Lasucci, and you've got some other ones all over Dade County and Broward County, and you come up all the way to Orlando, and then you got to come up all the way to
Right.
Jacksonville, right? Or, it's more spread
Right.
out.
Yeah.
So yeah, it seems like the Southeast as a whole definitely doing well. Blasucci's somebody that took you guys out during the off season and made sure that you guys were getting practice, but we're getting competition.
Right.
What How important is it during the off season to get out of state competition, guys that are not Floridians?
I believe it's very important because honestly, there's a lot like Florida has a rep of, not being that strong of a state. So I believe that, doing well at those national tournaments, you'll get recruited by the highest level. And that's honestly why I think I got recruited because, I went to all these national tournaments and I won a few. I placed at a lot of them. So I believe that's why I got recruited. So that's why I think it's important. Even if, you're don't expect to do well, I just think the exposure is well at a young age. Because I've been going to national tournaments since I was in 5th grade, and my dad even told me later on, like, yeah, I never expected you to do well. I just think the exposure is really good. And they ended up being right because it did help me a lot. And just matches in general in the off season is what got both like me good. Frankie Tauscher, kids like that were getting in middle school 150 matches in the off season per year because I would wrestle middle school, then cadet, and then junior every weekend. I never really took a weekend off.
Wow, that's awesome. What do you think wrestling has meant to you in your life? Like, where would you be without it?
Without wrestling, I would probably be just a football player, maybe not Division 1, just be an average football player or just going to school somewhere, probably Florida International University. Probably wouldn't be doing what I was doing now. I ended up quitting football because of wrestling because I played football up till 7th grade and then I qualified for state. I was like, wow, I'm already top 60 in the state in high school, being 13 years old. Let me just focus on that and just get rid of football, basically.
Well, that's good. What are your plans from here? Obviously, you're entering college. Do you have goals? What are your majors going to be? What do you want to do after college?
I'm in between right now, major wise, either biology or exercise science. Biology is a little hard, but what I want to do ultimately is physical therapy. And my aunt owns a business, so it's kind of like a easy job, like easy way to get a job once I do grad school and all that. So that's what I'm gonna do after. I don't plan on going to the Olympics or world team stuff like that. I just want to, start my life.
Nice. So when do you think you'll be able to get back on the mat and start to compete and get that first college tournament under your belt or college match?
Both Coach Kyle and I believe next weekend will be the tournament to go to.
Is that Virginia duels?
Yes.
Nice. That'll be cool. Get out, get some match time, right? How long has it
Right.
been since you actually had, like, other than like drill partners, like a real match where you can get your adrenaline going and get out there and
State finals my senior year was my last match with a real referee, like besides the wrestle offs. So 2 years ago.
Was that Kaplan?
Yep, Matt Kaplan, because that's when COVID struck. I was gonna go to senior nationals, but I got canceled.
Yeah, I think Kaplan 2 years in a row. I think he pinned his way through the whole thing. Did he pin you in the finals or did
No. He only beat me by like 3 or something like that.
Yeah, I think yours was the match that was close. It was
Yeah.
really good, but I think he, from the year before all the way up into your match, I think he was pinning everybody at the time.
Yeah, he pinned Danny Miranda, my teammate, our junior year.
Yeah, but then I remember watching the match and it was close.
Yeah, no, it was close and it was a good match.
That's good. He's over. Where's he? He's at the military academy now.
Air Force, yeah.
Yeah, man.
I think the heavyweight.
Yeah, wow.
He's a beast. I don't think he'll be Gable, but I think he's All-American.
Oh man, he looked good, didn't he?
Yeah, no, very.
I mean, he
good
was
for sure.
super ducking, sliding, hitting high touches. Usually, you don't see that, right?
No, a heavyweight has actually evolved. It's one of the tougher weight classes, I'll say, at the college level.
He was moving, man. Yeah, I can't wait to see Cap at that level. I haven't seen him on the mat yet. I know he's been
Yeah,
a little bit.
I don't know if he's banged up or not. I haven't really like asked Noah or Logan about it, but suppose he's still wrestling. I don't know if he could. Maybe he just can't beat that kid. But
Yeah, eventually. But I know as far as a human, I know he's doing really well. I talked to his dad.
oh, okay, that's good then.
I had him on the show last year, and I know, man,
Okay.
he's just in love with the academy over there. So
Oh, that's cool.
he'll do good, man. So Somerset's got some guns coming out again this year.
Yeah,
I look forward to seeing them. I know Blasucci says he's got a young team, but he's got some really good kids. I got to see them wrestle at Danny Byron.
right.
Man, was it Danny Byron?
Maybe the knockout. They
No,
don't
it
go
was
to Danny Byron.
knockout. It was knockout because
Yeah,
he had a kid. What was his name?
Kendrick Hodge.
Kendrick Hodge, man. What a tournament that kid had.
Yeah, unfortunately, the semifinal slide, but
Yeah,
no, he had a good
back-to-back
front-side
sudden victories.
Yeah, oh, that's good.
Those were unbelievable. But yeah, it was fun to watch, man. Did you compete at the knockout a couple years ago?
I competed twice. So in 7th grade, I went 0-2, and then my senior year, I took 3rd. I lost to Chad Nix in the semis, and then Chase Horn won
it. Chase Horn.
So yeah, it was a pretty, besides like us three, it was pretty good tournament at
Well, he won
220.
it again last year and won it again this
Yeah,
year.
yeah, no, he's real good.
He's going to NC State.
Yeah, no, I saw he was actually at the scuffle.
Yeah. So funny story. I had just seen him at the knockout, and he messaged me. He's like, "Yo, you're gonna be at the knockout?" Because I had seen him at the knockout. I met him at the knockout the year before. Then I took pictures of him at a couple off-season tournaments that I ran into him at. He was on a team with like RJ Weston and those.
Was it Kong?
Yeah, they were just killing people, right?
Yeah,
and
that's Kong.
And I walk into the scuffle the first day, and I hear Ward, and I'm looking around, like, he's calling my name. Ward, he's calling my name, and I look up, and there's Horn. He's like, "Yeah," and then he came down. He was calling some of the matches and stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah, I was like, man, you're ready to give these D1 heavyweights some yummy time.
It'd be cool to see him compete, like kind of like how Cody Chittum did.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he got hurt, but he's getting fine silver again.
But that kid that isn't that fine silver or whatever, the kid that's like really highly ranked at Duke.
Yeah, he's ranked like 14th or something like that. He's very good. His brother was ranked higher, I believe, but they're both still hammers, both fine silvers.
Yeah, I was sad to see Chittum get hurt. I wanted to kind of see how he would finish off the tournament, but
yeah,
bad for a high school kid to get to the quarters, right?
Oh, definitely not.
That was fun. Now you guys had a bunch of guys. I mean, Franco made a run. The young man I had on this morning, Fabian, made a run.
Yeah,
I just had multiple guys. I saw
the 133 lost first round, took 3rd.
Yeah,
Braden Palmer. Yeah,
Palmer, right? Is he he has like blonde hair?
Yes.
Yeah, it looks like a little skinny. He almost looks smaller than Fabian, but he's in a higher weight class.
Yeah, he's a little thicker than him, I would say.
Yeah, that was good because you guys had like 5 kids or something that really wrestled back and were in the hunt.
Correct. We had 4 guys make the second day. 2 of them didn't place or a match away. Then Noah Castillo was 2 matches away. We had a few kids make the last round of the first day, so 2 matches away.
He lost to the Oklahoma State kid, and then was it the NC State kid? Was it?
I believe, was that Michigan State? He wrestled. I know he wrestled 2 Michigan State kids.
But both kids. One was in overtime.
Right.
One was like right in the last second. It looked like he was turning, and the bell rang.
Yeah.
I mean, he was so close to being 4-0 right there.
Right.
But he said, he said it's the healthiest he's felt coming into the tournament, into wrestling in a while. He's kept his diet right.
That's
Looked
good then.
So, man, you guys got a heck of a squad, man. You excited to get in the room and drill? Oh, Wally
Well,
missed you.
I've been wrestling.
Have you
Been
got in the
wrestling in
room
the
already?
room with them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Mr. feels like we need him.
yeah.
Soon, I
No,
hope.
they started. Yes, they don't really have a 97 right now. They've been bumping up a 174 pounder, and I've been wrestling with him a little bit. He's pretty good, but on our feet, I was kind of we're just sparring, but it's one of those like I feel like I'll do better in the live match. So we'll see how it goes. Ultimately, what they decide to do.
And how about looking around the room, seeing all the Florida faces that were either wrestling or coaching?
Right. So
Uh,
like Julian Ramirez, like stuff like that.
yeah, Julian Ramirez, Earl
Earl
Hall,
Hall.
Opie
Right.
Monk, you,
Right.
Dio, Franco. You see Logan Andrews. You see Bretley Reyna. I mean,
One of the Stanford coaches too used to coach at the Villages.
yeah, and then
Francois.
I think Brian Smith, the head coach at Missouri, was a Florida guy.
Is he? I don't know. I know Coach Basucci like kind of knows him a little bit, so maybe.
Yeah. So it was pretty. Enoch was there, that coaches
Right.
villages. Yeah. And yeah, it's just running into all these Florida faces and Florida wrestlers and Florida wrestling legends, and it was just
Right.
pretty cool to. People are sleeping on the state, right?
Correct. No, I believe Florida's top guys are real deal.
Yeah, and we've seen it. I mean, we've seen them compete at a high level, and there's
Right.
some kids coming out of the state this year that I'm really excited to see at the next level. The Basiles, the Crooks, the Cooper Haas,
Right.
the Johnny Lays, the one Rivera over at LA,
Danny Nene.
Danny Nini. I mean, there's so many kids. If I forgot you, my bad. But I could keep going. But there's so many kids. Yes, Smith wrestled with Thomas at Thomas with
Okay.
my brother Joe Blasucci
Okay.
just said. So
Oh, okay. There you go.
yeah, so I thought so. So that's cool. Yeah, it was great to see in a D1 room all the Florida faces.
Right.
Kind of, well, man, I'm happy that you found a home, man, because as good of a wrestler as you have been, it would kind of suck not to get to see you at
Right.
the next level. And
No, for sure.
and you're in a weight class that's definitely you got opportunity to do some big things.
Correct.
Yeah, right now you don't want to be in Gable's weight class, right? Or you don't want to be down at like
Yeah.
125 or 133, right? You want to be like
Right.
somewhere
Yeah.
in the middle there. Man, well, I appreciate you coming on, man. It's
All right.
a
Thank you for
pleasure,
having me.
and it was a pleasure to finally run into you. And when you came up and you're like, "Yo, you're Ward," I'm like, "Oh,
Right. Yeah.
yeah, what's up?" And it was kind of crazy because I'm used to people knowing who I am now in Florida because
Correct.
I go out and take pictures and do stuff like that, right? But to be on that playing field, right, and have
Of a
somebody
college
come,
tournament.
yeah, somebody come up
Yeah.
like you, and then like the guy that does like wrestler grind or whatever, wrestle grind or something, wrestling.
Yes.
He came up to me and he was like, "Hey, you're Ward." I'm like,
Oh,
"Yeah."
that's real cool because he's big on social media as well.
Yeah, but I had no. He's like, "Yeah, I follow you." I'm like, "Oh, cool." I have
There you go.
I never did this for notoriety or popularity or to be
Right.
known like that, right? I just did it to give it back to the sport, and then doing the pictures and stuff is just to give it back to the kids, right? Because I don't charge
Correct.
for any of that. So,
No, no, you do a good job with all those.
yeah, I got to get better at maybe editing my pictures a little bit. Well, I learned that this weekend watching those like real deal photographers that were out there.
Oh yeah.
And the one guy's got lenses like this, and then he's got a wireless remote and another camera on the other side of the finals match. So he's taking
Right.
pictures and he's other
All
camera
different angles.
clicking pictures. I'm like, man, I'm just a rookie.
Yeah, but you have the show and like the social media presence. They're probably just photographers. Probably that's they're living here. You have more. You do more than them probably.
Yeah,
That's
it's
cool.
fun, man. It's been fun to me to be able to get out there and see it. everybody that I've had on the show, all the different coaches and some athletes, and get to meet them face to face finally. So it's cool. Hey man, listen, get out there and kick some ass, man. Kick some ass.
For sure.
And,
Yeah.
you know, and kudos to Coach Joe for you know, for keeping your head up and getting you through that shitty process you just went through, and getting you,
Definitely.
finding you a new home. And you know, it's nice to see that most coaches out there don't forget you after you leave. They stay
No, correct.
stay in touch and make sure that you're on the right track.
Right. No, even in high school, you know, he really took care of my recruiting. You know, all my teammates at NIU, they'll say, "Oh no, I did it all by myself," but you know, he really directed all of my recruiting. You know, it's
That's
pretty much
awesome.
so. It's pretty much him.
Well, from what I understand right now, Mrs. Rochelle will not let you screw up. Yeah. From what I understand, she's on top of you guys hard about everything. And then I know from what I understand, TJ really stays on the academics with you, make sure that
Yes. No, he's been talking. Hey, have you sent your transcript, stuff like that? And, you know, it's all done.
yeah, so that's a family affair there. It's not just coach. You got Gamble,
Correct.
right? And you got the Rochelle family, and you got everybody involved. So you're in a
Definitely.
good place. You're set for a lot of good things. And I hope to get back
I'm
up
happy to
there.
be here.
Chattanooga was fun.
That'd be cool. Maybe we'll see you at a duel or, you know, even the scuffle next year.
For sure, man. I'll have to look up your schedule and stuff. Do you
Yeah, no,
guys
for sure.
duel
That'd
in
be
the
cool.
Jones Center? Is that where you guys always wrestle? When
The
you're
we
home?
wrestle no, we wrestle at the McClellan usually, like for dual meets, which is where basically where our wrestling room is. It's like the building, like kind of like down the road a
Oh, I
little bit.
think my son went over there because he's been cutting weight. He's got a tournament this weekend. And I think
Okay,
Bud Hennenbaugh took him to because I think you guys, the first day ended at 4 and we didn't have wrestling till like later or something. So
correct.
um, I told Bud, hey, we're going to leave for a little bit so he can work out. And he's like, don't be silly. Give me your kid. And he took him somewhere and put him on a
Yeah,
bike.
probably the rest. It's probably
Yeah.
it's probably the wrestling room.
And my son was like, man, it was beautiful.
Yeah, no, it's a nice little facility we have there.
Cool, man. Hey, well, I'll let you get back to life. And I'm here. So anytime you want to come shoot the shit, let's do it. And
Okay, no, for sure. We'll keep in contact.
yeah, for real, man. And God bless you. Keep your head up,
Oh, you
keep kicking
too.
life's ass, and get back on that mat and do big things.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
All right, brother.